You're now tuned in to the Real Money Coach broadcast with host Tony Jackson, author of the book Increase, Protect, and Dominate Your Money. Get ready for winning tips and strategies to effectively manage your finances and learn the key principles of protecting and dominating your money. Now, here's author and host Tony Jackson.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Real Money Coach show here on Praise 100.9, Charlotte's Inspiration Station. I am excited to be with you this morning. And I know I tell you that every Saturday morning because it's true, right? It's true. I'm excited to come and be talking to you and having you listening this morning. And I just want to thank you for just getting up and being a part of my day. And hopefully this is a great part of your day. And please do this. Share this information. Share with your family and friends. Let them know to come onto the radio at 7:30 a.m. every Saturday morning. Praise 100.9. Now, listen, if you're not in the Charlotte area, you have family members not in the Charlotte area, download the app. Download the Praise 100.9 app, Praise 100.9. You can also stream it on the internet on praisecharlotte.com. And listen, I'm just having a great time with my radio family. I call it my radio family, Ron and Mel and Olympia, and we're doing some great things. And just to let you know, there's a couple other times that you can catch some tidbits from me, and that's on Wednesday, midday. I do a Money Minute show here on Praise 100, and then at 1:15 on Mondays, we're doing a quick Money Minute segment with Olympia at 1:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And so we're just having a great time just being a part of the radio world here. And so today I want to kind of talk a little bit about some things I talked about earlier in the week. And that's this thing about these interest rates. And on Wednesday, as expected, Jerome Powell, who is the chair of the Federal Reserve Board, announced that they are hiking rates once again. So they're hiking rates once again. They raised it by another 0.75%. So 0.75%, Mr. Powell raised the rates, the Federal Reserve rates. Now, the thing about it is I want to talk a little bit more about what does that mean to everyday consumers like you and I? What does that mean to us? We hear that the Federal Reserve raised the rates, but what impact does it have? And so what has happened here in 2022 is that this is the third time that they've raised it by that amount, bringing it to a total raise here just in this year of 2.25%. 2.25%. And what impact does that have? When you think about it this way, 2.25%, if you owed $10,000, that's another $225 of interest that you would pay for every $10,000 that you owe. So if you're talking about a $50,000 car, I mean, that means that you're going to pay over $1,100 more in interest on that loan times what? Most people do 72 months, 5 years, 6 years. So, that's a significant amount of money. And then let's expand that. Let's talk about what does it mean in the housing area. Now, for the first time since 2008, housing mortgage interest rates have exceeded 6%. And so what does that mean? That means that if you have a $300,000 house, you're going to be paying almost $7,000 more in interest per year. Now, you times that times 30 years, and it's significant. And so the question becomes, well, why is the Fed doing this? Why are they raising these rates? And the reason they're doing it is to bring and slow down inflation. And people say, well, what's inflation? Well, basically, inflation is this. Basically, inflation is the cost of goods and services going up. What causes inflation to go up is the fact that you have more consumer demand, right? There's more people wanting to buy products and services than there are products and services available. Now, So what that means is that if there's a scarcity of products and services, then I can raise the price because I have more buyers than I have product. That's kind of like marketing that we learn in school, right? So when the supply is low and the demand is high, it drives the price up. But we have to look at this thing in its total situation. So what has driven this? What has made the supply chain so low? Well, we had COVID, right? Obviously, there weren't people working. You had shops shut down, and this is worldwide. And as you can remember, back in the summer, early spring, we were talking about this container issue where we had all of these supplies coming from China and other places, and, they couldn't get to the California shore, Florida. So they had all these container of products that were sitting out there, and because they couldn't find trucks to get them, the shipyards didn't have workers and all these type of things. So it has really caused our supply of goods and services to really be low. And you may have experienced some of that yourself if you're trying to order something from your local store, your Target or whatever, and the shelves are empty. Now, the other thing that is happening is, again, and if you ever been in one of my presentations, I talk about this concept called quantitative easement, right? Quantitative easement is where the Congress printed money, no oil, no gold, nothing to back that up. And so what that does is deflates the value of the dollar. But as a result of quantitative easement, and why did they do quantitative easement? It was for the stimulus packages. There was 4 packages, $8 trillion. And you've heard me say, I don't believe the White House had $8 trillion sitting in the basement all of a sudden to give it to the American people. And so when they put all this money into the economy, they got to bring that money back in and literally burn it. And so how do you do that? Well, you got to slow down the economy. How do you slow down the economy? Inflation. And so with inflation, it's this perfect storm. You got the supply chain issue and the fact that you got all this money that was put into circulation, which created more consumers, but not enough products to consume. So it drives inflation up. So what do? You got to slow down the economy. And that's why they raise interest rates, is to slow down the economy. So what we have to do as consumers is make sure we're not borrowing and we're not unnecessarily, so that we're not going out and we're not, charging a bunch of stuff, or, if you can wait to buy that new car, maybe this is a great time to wait to buy the new car. Wait until the interest rates come back down. So really by design, they want the economy to slow down. And we have to listen, right? We have to do it. And of course, it's causing all kinds of havoc on the stock market. So that's kind of what's going on. Listen, I have some great ladies that's going to be on the line with me from the Freedom Georgia Initiative, right? And these ladies, as you will hear in our next segment in the interview, are doing some marvelous things in terms of buying land, developing a city. So I'm going to be back with that interview after this song, and then we're going to have Ashley Scott and Laura Cooper on the phone from the Freedom Georgia Initiative. You're listening to Tony Jackson. I'm your Real Money Coach here on Praise 100.9, Charlotte's Inspiration Station.
Here we go. family, join author Tony Jackson for the Real Money Coach broadcast each and every Saturday morning from 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Praise 100.9. Mr. Jackson enlightens you on the real secrets of money. He'll also help you increase, protect, and dominate your money. You can also catch Tony Jackson's The Real Money Coach every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on Facebook Live and YouTube. Check out The Real Money Coach, Mr. Tony Jackson, every Saturday morning, 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Praise 100.9.
Hey, Tony Jackson here. You know me as The Real Money Coach. Listen, I want to encourage you to do something. And what I want to encourage you to do is email me your questions, your comments, or even suggestions of topics that you'd like us to cover on the Real Money Coach show. You can email it to info@therealmoneycoach.com. Again, that's info@therealmoneycoach.com. Email us your questions, your comments, your suggestions, and we will answer those on air and also on our Facebook Live YouTube show on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure you email us so that we can get that information that you want to know in your ears. I am Tony Jackson, the Real Money Coach.
And welcome back to the Real Money Coach broadcast with author and host, Tony Jackson.
Welcome back to 100.9 Praise Charlotte. You are listening to the Real Money Coach show, and I am your host, Tony Jackson. And listen, I told you in the first segment of the show, I'm excited about these ladies that I have on the phone with me this morning. And we have no other than Ashley Scott and Laura Cooper. And Ashley and Laura, how are you guys doing this morning?
We are great.
Awesome. I am so glad that you're joining us. And, you know, we're really excited. And I know that you guys I've seen it all over the news, CNN, all this about the Freedom Georgia Initiative. But before you tell us about that, tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Awesome. Well, I'm Ashley Scott. I am one of the co-founders and the vice president of sales and marketing for the Freedom Georgia Initiative. I started out in real estate, and I am a proud Bennett Belle. Shout out to my sorority sisters of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And I'm from Philadelphia, West Philadelphia, born and raised. So I'm really proud to be able to be working on a project like Freedom Georgia Initiative.
Well, Ashley, you got it all in, right? You got the Bennett, you got the AKA, you got it all in. I love it. Laura, what about you?
My name is Laura Cooper. I range from Ohio, actually, and I am a serial entrepreneur. When I tell you I have been running businesses since I was 18, I'm now very much more mature. I never tell my age, but serial entrepreneur, and I'm excited about this Freedom Project, and I am actually the CEO.
That is awesome. Well, you guys are very, very powerful with your other partner. And so tell our listeners who may not be familiar with the Freedom Georgia Initiative, what exactly is that?
Well, the Freedom Georgia Initiative at its core is a family-owned, minority-owned, women-owned, veteran-managed liability company that owns 502 acres. It's Black-owned land, and we are working to build a sustainable, smart city for melanated people and for us to be able to practice and build a community that is intentionally supporting the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So we're all about environmental sustainability and economic sustainability, environmental justice, and really what can we build if we were able to do it from scratch without any barriers. So we're building Wakanda.
I was just thinking that. I was thinking Wakanda forever, right? And you know what I love about reading about it and seeing on CNN, and I think it kind of started out, if I saw the story right, that it was a city for sale. And I'm like, these sisters have the audacity to say, I'm going to buy a city. Oh, if it doesn't work out, I'll just build my own city. I mean, who does that?
Well, I think that's where we are now in this, at the state of the world. I think that's the way that we need to be thinking, I think instead of, continuously discussing the problems, marching for the problems, we have to decide to make some moves that are going to, change those problems or make them, make things different.
Well, and Gandhi said what? You have to be the change you want to see in the world. And you guys are literally doing that. And I think that's so amazing. And, you guys are going to be the guest on the podcast, the Facebook Live, YouTube, on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Those of you who are listening, you just go to Facebook or YouTube, go to The Real Money Coach, and I'm going to have these ladies on live. And I know we're going to have a great time because we'll have time to kind of really unpack some of this. But tell us what will be your central message? What message will you want our audience to get? What can they look forward to on Tuesday?
Well, the Freedom Georgia Initiative is all about self-sufficiency, environmental sustainability, and cooperative economics around BIPOC communities and really the global African community. So we're going to have a conversation about what does it take to innovate and elevate our culture from where we are today to where we know our children deserve to be for the future.
So listen, I am excited about Tuesday. I can't wait to unpack this on Tuesday. And I thank you guys so much for just taking time out to just stop by, call into the radio station this morning so that our listeners can meet you. This is kind of like the pre-meet and greet, right? And then we're going to really get to the meat of it on Tuesday. And just thank you guys. And I appreciate you coming on the show this morning. And I look forward to Tuesday.
I look forward to being there with you. Thank you, Tony.
Absolutely. So listen, you are listening to the Real Money Coach Show, where we bring you the best guest in the nation. Do you hear me? Listen, we're going to take a quick music break, and then I'm going to come back and finish the show out for us. You're listening to Praise 100.9, Charlotte's Inspiration Station.
Looking at the world we are in, with all the anger, all the fighting and the sin. Considering the pain, there are times I might complain, but instead I'll use my voice to sing again. Lord, I want to say thank you. You could love me blows my mind. Every time I try to leave, your love told me to stay. You're the God of second chances, so I'll take this one to say I want to say thank you for being my friend. Thank you. When my back's against the wall, you're the one I'm gonna call. I want to say thank you, Jesus, for being my friend. Without my heart,
family, join author Tony Jackson for the Real Money Coach broadcast each and every Saturday morning from 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Praise 100.9. Mr. Jackson enlightens you on the real secrets of money. He'll also help you increase, protect, and dominate your money. You can also catch Tony Jackson's The Real Money Coach every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on Facebook Live and YouTube. Check out The Real Money Coach, Mr. Tony Jackson, every Saturday morning, 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Praise 100.9.
Hey, Tony Jackson here. You know me as The Real Money Coach. Listen, I want to encourage you to do something. And what I want to encourage you to do is email me your questions, your comments, or even suggestions of topics that you'd like us to cover on the Real Money Coach Show. You can email it to info@therealmoneycoach.com. Again, that's info@therealmoneycoach.com. Email us your questions, your comments, your suggestions, and we will answer those on air and also on our Facebook Live YouTube show on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure you email us so that we can get that information that you want to know in your ears. I am Tony Jackson, the Real Money Coach.
And welcome back to the Real Money Coach broadcast with author and host, Tony Jackson.
Listen, that conversation, that short conversation with Ashley and Laura right there got me really excited about Tuesday. I hope it got you excited too. Dynamite situation with them in the Freedom Georgia Initiative. Did you hear them say they bought 502 acres of land? Now, that little half-acre land in my household, that ain't nothing, right? 502 acres. So I'm really excited about when they're going to come on the show on Tuesday. Again, just reminding you, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Facebook, YouTube. We're even streamed to LinkedIn now, so I'm really, really excited about it. I hope you join us. And make sure when you join us that you're engaged. You're engaged in the chat. And if you have questions, just as you heard of our promo, email us at info@therealmoneycoach so that we can get your questions asked and answered by this dynamic duo. It's actually three ladies that partner, but we will have Ashley and Laura on the show with us on Tuesday. Now, as you know, this is, I believe this is the last Saturday in September, and September was Life Insurance Awareness Month. We talked a lot about it. If you listened to the show last week, you heard Ron and I clowning and having a good time talking about life insurance. I want to end the conversation, or, it's not an end, but, in terms of this month being Life Insurance Awareness Month, I want to read a little poem that's in the last page of my book. I'm going to read this to you. It is something, I don't know who wrote it. It's anonymous. But I think it's really good, and it kind of sums up why we need life insurance. All right. It's the very last page, page 142. Right. So here's what it's called. It's called I Am Your Policy. You and I have similar purposes in this world. It's your job to provide food, clothing, shelter, medicine, sundry, and other essential items for your loved ones. You do this while I lie in your desk drawer. I have faith and trust in you. Out of your earnings will come the cost of my upkeep. At times, I may appear to be worthless to you, but someday, and who knows when, you and I will change places. When you're laid to rest, I will come alive and do your job. I will provide the funds necessary for your final resting place and guarantee that your loved ones will not be burdened. I can also provide food, clothing, shelter, medicine, and other essential items for your family that your family will continue to need. As you are doing now, just as you're doing now, when your work is done and your afterlife begins, my work will begin. Through me, your hands will carry on, and so will your legacy. Whenever you feel that the price you're paying for my upkeep is burdensome, remember that I will do more for you and your family than you ever can do for me. If you do your part, I will do mine. Sincerely, your policy. And so I ran across this little letter, poem, or what have you, years ago. And it just really spoke to the importance of having a policy. We talk a lot about different kinds of policies, how much you should have, and all those types of things. But the bottom line is this. The bottom line is we want to make sure your family is taken care of. My wife and I, we were having a little short mini finance meeting the other day. And actually, we were going over life insurance. We're going over my policy, and I was just explaining some things to her because, I know it really well. And my wife looked at me and she said, "Thank you." And, that touched me, right? Because, she was saying, thank you for making sure that if something happens to me, that she's going to be taken care of. And I'm asking you today, who do you love? A spouse, children, siblings, nieces, nephews? Who's important in your life? And that's why we buy the life insurance. It's because there's somebody in our life that we love, somebody we want to make sure is taken care of, somebody that we want to make sure that's not going to have a financial burden if the Lord calls us home, let's be honest, right? And just as that little poem said, is that we don't know when, we don't know the time nor hour that our time is going to come. Now, let me tell you something. I'm planning on living a long, happy, prosperous life. That's my plan. But, I have something in place in case that doesn't happen. Now, the good news is with life insurance today is that there's even living benefits. There's benefits in that policy that I can take advantage of in my own lifetime. There's supplement to my retirement. There's living benefits in terms of, critical illness, chronic illness, critical injury, some of those types of things. But there's that tax-free stream of income that's going to be available for me when I'm ready to take it. And so that's why we want you to make sure that you're taken care of. And as I said before, if you don't have anyone to talk to or you want a second opinion, schedule with me. You can go to therealmoneycoach.com. You'll see a button right there where you can schedule a free appointment with me. Costs you absolutely nothing. And maybe you're already working with someone. Listen, I don't have a problem with that. I just want to make sure that you're taken care of. I want to make sure that you talk to someone, to a professional who knows about these things and can help you get not only make sure that your life insurance is taken care of, but how to get the most out of it, how to leverage it, how to make these dollars work for you. It's an asset. It's a growing asset if you do the right type of policy. So the most important thing is just to have a conversation. And so I'm glad that we're having this conversation this morning because I'd rather talk to you than to talk about you, right? So let me talk to you, schedule with me. Let's have a conversation. I am your boy. I am the Real Money Coach, Tony Jackson, and you've been listening to Praise 100.9. Have an awesome, achieving day, and we'll see you on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and then right back here on Praise 100.9, 7:30 on Saturday mornings, and I can catch you on Olympia Monday in the midday, and with Melody Pratt on Wednesday at the midday. Have a wonderful one. Thank you for being with me this morning, and I'm out. Enjoy your day.
We hope you've enjoyed the Real Money Coach broadcast with author and host Tony Jackson. We encourage you to utilize today's strategies and principles to manage your money in the most effective and winning way. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to send us an email, TonyJacksonAgency@gmail.com, or you can reach us on all social media platforms. And if you would like a copy of Tony Jackson's book, Increase, Protect, and Dominate Your Money, log on to www.therealmoneycoach.com. Until next week's empowering broadcast, God bless.